Good evening and welcome to the Lower Makefield Township Park and Recreation Advisory Board meeting for June 8th, 2021. Welcome. We'll do roll call tonight, and we have with us Dennis Wysocki, Michael Brody, Michael Blundy, Kim Rock, Supervisor James McCartney, and Park and Rec Director Monica Tierney. Absent is Dave Malinowski and Rob Labar. First order of business is the approval of the May 11th Park and Rec meeting notes. Do we have any additions, changes to the notes?
If there are no comments, I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor of approval of the meeting minutes? Say aye, show your hand. Thank you.
Aye.
All right.
I think I technically abstained from that. I think Mike Brody technically abstained from that because I wasn't here last week.
All right, Mike Brody has abstained. All right, Monica, Capra Master Plan Steering Committee is first up on the agenda.
Okay, so I met with Ann Toole, the person who's helping with the master plan and needs assessment for the community. And she recommended very highly that we pull together a group of community residents of diverse background, not, sports, activities, just park users, seniors, youth, from just trying to pull from the community to help with as a steering committee for the putting together this needs assessment, make sure we're capturing everybody. And so I'm asking you today to kind of help recommend this to the Board of Supervisors. She said 7 to 9 is typically a good number. I'm thinking just all community members and will attend meetings. And we're looking for people who have a little bit of time to commit to maybe help with surveys, like maybe go to Makefield Park on a busy Saturday and talk to some of the residents, maybe go to the pool on a busy weekend and talk to some of the residents and survey them and get some information. So just kind of looking for your feelings on that, if anybody has any strong feelings one way or another, and to see if you'd be willing to recommend that to the Board of Supervisors.
I did have a question on the letter that you had here. It did mention something about both who are resident or business owners. Or can you explain the part about business owners if they're especially if they're non-resident?
I kind of just put that in there as we could do it one way or another. I'm not partial. I just feel like if a business is operating in the township, if there's someone that is a good candidate, maybe they would be a part of it, but it doesn't have to be. It could be one way or another, just all resident too.
Monica, you say it's a short-term commitment. Do you have a sense how long it would be?
I imagine that we would try to get done by, at the very latest, January, February of next year, so that it'd be in line with our visitation from Capra. So I would say probably around that time, January, February. But we want to get the project done and done right, so I didn't want to do a firm commitment.
So
And then just go ahead. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
So starting in July, August, and running.
Yes.
And how would sorry, it's Ann, is it Ann, right?
And Tool.
Ann
Yeah.
Toole. So how would she go about identifying the stakeholders or the members?
Well, I have a couple people in mind right off the bat who always try to be involved and have a lot of feelings one way or another about the parks. I'd really like to try and get involved. The Board of Supervisors would ultimately have to decide on a committee because we want to make sure that they feel comfortable with who we have kind of making these decisions and investing their time. But so she wouldn't be deciding. I think the Board of Supervisors would ultimately have to decide that.
But she would have to put together a plan to get the residents to be interviewed, to either put forth the recommendation either to us or and then to the Board of Supervisors. I'm not sure if we need to look at the list or it just goes straight to the board of supervisors. But I guess I'm just asking, how does she go about getting people to either interview and either, understand why they want to be part of the committee, and then, let's say you have 30 people that are interested, she's gonna have to cull down that list to 7 to 9 people. So
Well, I think we would work together on that based on interest. I think she and I would probably go through candidates. I know it's probably going to be tough to get people to commit some time to do this. So we're going to need people who can put in some time on a weekend and really help out. So
I'd hope after with 30,000 plus residents, we can be able to come up with 10 people.
a good handful. I'm hoping that we can get a good sampling to help put this together and make sure we reach a broad audience.
I would just want to be sure that the people are not doing this to try to like push the surveys into their own agenda, that they're kind of like sticking to a script and staying very impartial.
Mhm. I think Anne would help us do that. Ultimately, she reviews all the material,
That's a good point. There are some that just are, in one camp or another, and they want a voice, but they want a voice for their own agenda. So,
Well, essentially, they would come up with some concepts and ideas, but we would survey the broader community to find out if there's enough people that support that idea too. You know what I mean? So it's not just them making decisions. The needs assessment would try to get the entire community involved.
okay. I'm in favor. I think the only caveat was I think they need to be a resident. So if they're a business owner and they're a resident, then that's fine. But I think I would prefer that they be a resident of the township. So.
Okay.
So,
That would be,
Monica, doesn't Ann put together the plan?
she will, but she's getting feedback from the community first. So she's taking a look at what the community wants and what the community needs based on what municipalities and townships already have now and what standards are out there. And then she'll make recommendations of what would be good for our community based on our needs and potential.
I wouldn't want us to pass on things that may not have all broad support. I wouldn't want us to do only things that had broad support.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like if you get 10 people in the room, you're going to get 10 different opinions. And, I just want to make sure that, we're putting forth a plan that's good for the community. Not just for, it's good for the community.
Well, I mean, ultimately, this is what it is. You want people with different opinions and ideas to help put together the needs assessment to put out.
I'm not, yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But Ann's the professional. I'm assuming she's, done this before and she knows what works and may have a better understanding of what
The future of parks and recreation, like where things are. Yeah, Anne's been around for a very long time. You actually have her resume in her packet in the tool, so you can see her background. But she's been around for a long time. She's from Doylestown. She did our needs assessment we did in the 90s actually, and she made recommendations based on that. So she's been around for a very long time. So she's very qualified.
I think survey from 1990, and reading that survey, it was kind of like half the people were for it, half the people were against it, depending upon whatever. It wasn't conclusive when I read through the survey.
Right, but then she makes recommendations knowing what she knows, knowing what the community is offering. She's going to make recommendations.
Okay.
Any other comments, inputs on the steering committee and recommendation to the board of supervisors? If not, if anybody wants to make a motion to recommend that the board of supervisors establish a steering committee of 7 to 9 members to assist in the completion of the park and recreation needs assessment and master plan. Then we can go ahead and vote on that.
I'll make a motion to approve that it gets recommended.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Monica.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda, I don't know if there's any.
Is there anybody in the waiting room, Erica?
No, there's nobody in the waiting room.
Monica?
Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple little things that are going on. I guess none of it's little. There's a lot going on at one time. We opened the pool. Unfortunately, the first weekend was very cold and we ended up shutting, cold and rainy, closing early. We're doing very well. Our numbers are maintaining at a nice, comfortable level. Feel really good about the way things are going. In your packet, I included kind of our head count system and the reports that it provides, like hour by hour, how many people are in the pool. And as you can see, you know, for the most part, we've been averaging at the highest, maybe 700. And right now we have a lower capacity of 1,000. We had 2 90-degree days in a row, and we still stayed below. It was 633 the whole day. Our max capacity we could have in the pool is 1,500, but we weren't even close to that, which was good. You know, it was good to see, and I think people felt very comfortable with numbers. So
is that 1,500 your capacity limit based on the revised plans, or that's just the normal capacity?
the revised plans are 1,000.
Okay, thanks. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, so if we do decide, you know, I'd like to take a look at it for another week, and you know, if we decide to bring in say guests, which I think would be very doable looking at these numbers, you know, I think that we won't be crossing over even the 1,000 threshold, that it'd be uncomfortable for residents. So that we're just constantly evaluating how we're doing and processes and how things are going, and it's doing very well. The one thing that there were concerns about, and I do want to address that with you today, is the closure from 3 to 4. And I think maybe what wasn't clear enough is it's not just for cleaning that we're closing from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. We are doing cleaning during that time, but we have very low number of staff compared to normal. So our staff are working very long days. And that 3 to 4 time is also time to train our lifeguards to make sure they keep their certifications, to get a break in the day so that they can be fresh and safe in the pool. We also, you know, use that time to kind of keep our numbers down a little lower, because that was one of the biggest concerns that people had when we were entering into opening the pool this year. So, you know, I've been answering a lot of emails about this, but this is something I kind of see we're going to need it all summer long. You know, our staff need to stay safe and alert, and they really need that hour too, in addition to being able to clean. So I did want to go over it with you because there were many, many concerns, but
Are we not,
at this point, I don't see that going away. Yes, Mike?
are we not able to hire more staff? Like why are we running? Why are
There's
we
a
running
nationwide lifeguard shortage because for many reasons. One is it was hard for people to keep certified over COVID because a lot of the indoor facilities were closed and most of the outdoor facilities were closed. So many of the lifeguards let it run out and they never re-got it. You know, a lot of the grocery stores are paying very high, and it's much easier to go work at a grocery store than worry about people's lives. You know, you're responsible for saving people's lives. And, you know, it's just, you know, training new lifeguards was also a challenge usually we can train new lifeguards throughout the year, same thing. Pools were closed, people couldn't get in. So lucky for us, I mean, one thing that we did, and I think we did it better, was we were able to get the water in the lap lanes before the season started and run trainings for the staff in 60-degree weather in a heated pool. And we were able to certify more. So we do have more guards and we're better off than some pools, but we are really shorthanded. And I think we're going to put out another advertisement for more lifeguards, but everybody's begging for lifeguards right now. It's just hard.
Monica, I don't know what the answer is, if there's anything that's a different answer, but some of the feedback I was getting from folks in the neighborhood was that it's a really bad time to close the pool, in their opinions. Like, a lot of them get there at 1 and they're there kind of like checking in with kids for the afternoon, and to like kind of unpack, be there, and then have to leave and expected to come back is just kind of weird, or hang out in the car for an hour. So again, I'm very unfamiliar with the details around the situation, but I did want to pass back that feedback that I was getting from some folks in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing, Monica. I didn't know. I don't recall like if that was a specific time based on certain criteria versus a 4 to 5. So you kind of have the end of the afternoon, and then an evening session that would kind of start 5 on, right? So
I'd be
building on
glad
Dennis.
I'd be glad to address the time selection. The reason we did 3 to 4, it's the most middle of the day time that we could do without disrupting every other program. So we kind of, if we push it back, the people who come in the evening have less time. If we push it forward, it starts getting into like swim lessons and, all the other programming we have during the day. If we push it back too far, people are not going to eat dinner there, which Steve wants. We have, there's a whole bunch of different things that went into that time. We also have people who want it to move forward, and we have people who want it to move later, and just about equal people want it both ways. So 3 to 4 was probably the most middle of the road that we could do. It also affects our staffing and when our staff comes in for the day. The evening staff that come in later, the younger staff. So, really 3 to 4 is the best time as far as the pool goes. And I truly believe that if everybody just gets used to the schedule with time, because it is a hard and different thing that we haven't been used to. Other pools do close for different things. They close for adult swim, they close for the lifeguards to cool off, or they close for different things. People get used to the schedule. And once everybody kind of gets used to the schedule, I think it will be a lot easier for everybody.
I would characterize it more as the least worst situation as opposed to the best time to close, but I don't think any of the membership is used to having it close at all. So what is the impediment is it just staffing, the impediment to keeping it open?
It's not just staffing, no. I mean, it's because of we extended the hours so that we could do more things throughout the day with less people. So, and because we did that, we have less time to train the staff, less time to just do a deep clean throughout the day, which we're improving every day. I mean, we do have really new staff. So it just gives us an opportunity to just regroup and pull together and get back ready. But it also keeps the numbers a little bit lower. What happens is, people will park for the whole entire day, and then the evening crew comes in, and then we have tons of people in the pool at one time, and people were concerned about numbers. So it also helps keep numbers down.
The other chatter that I've been hearing from people besides that is that the lap lanes, the limits are too long, that people don't need to, is it an hour, I guess? And people were kind of saying like a half hour would be more than enough for someone, like an hour seems like a waste.
Well, the good thing about the hour and why we did the hour is, well, some people feel the hour is not long enough. And, what happens is maybe someone will come, get out of the pool, and then the lap lane becomes available. So if someone did show up and didn't make a reservation, they might be able to pop in for 15 minutes until the next reservation comes. So it does allow for a little bit of flexibility if you didn't plan. So, the hours worked out quite well, to be honest. I know people were nervous about it, and people were nervous about making reservations, but we really, now that people are in the groove of doing it, it's really not that bad. does anybody have any questions about the pool since we're on it? I want to make sure I address all the things.
Well, I just think that the people that were talking to me obviously didn't know all the detail, understand the rationale for everything. I think they just heard it was closing to do a deep clean. And there's probably got to be a little better communication for the rationale. And again, I don't know if it's, yeah, you had suggested this was going to be required all summer. And if there's remedies to the issue that could somehow minimize or eliminate the shutdown, I think that might be appreciated by a lot of people. But that's again, I'm too far away from the detail to really know what's possible.
Yeah, I mean, there are other things that I'm hoping that we can give back that we had to take away, like guests. I mean, that's one thing that I really am looking forward to trying to bring back now, looking at the numbers that we can keep low. I know that's something that's people are very upset about, but the hour, I think as of right now, unless if we get a huge staff influx, I don't see it going away throughout the whole summer. So I don't want to get anybody's hopes up.
You have authorization to pay guards more?
Well, I'd have to raise rates, I mean, or taxes, because we have to make sure that we're covering our costs. I mean, that'd be something that we'd have to plan for the following year. It's not something I can change now.
Oh, is it something that the supervisors may want to address? I mean, I don't know if they're getting a lot of flack, but if it's something that's a big enough earful for them, they may be willing to provide some funding for you.
Yeah, Dennis, I actually had a conversation with Monica about this yesterday at length, because yeah, I was getting a lot of feedback from residents regarding the new policies. Monica explained what the situation was, and I think the communication was the key piece that was missing from that, as you said. I think now that the residents understand that it's not necessarily, an hour closing for a deep cleaning, that there was some training going on, some kind of break for the people that, I think we're down 10%, Monica, is what you said for staff?
About 10%.
Yeah, so it was just more of a time to refresh. As far as the timing, I'm not 100% sure if it's effective during that time. I'm not, it sounds like there's a lot of feedback saying that there's not, but at this point, like, we have to see how it plays out. And then as far as, additional funds for hiring more people or paying more, I can have a conversation with Kurt about that from a budget standpoint. There might be an opportunity for us to try to offset. The idea of having a pool, though, is to be self-sufficient. So
yeah, I would just say these are strange times. They're reopening after the year of shutdown, and it just might be a special circumstance. I wouldn't think this would be the norm, but
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And with all of these requests that are being made, and people asking for kind of special things to be done after the year of reopening, if it's an opportunity for us to say, is it time to raise rates, or something along those lines, in order to offset what the members are really asking for, because that essentially is what it is you have members asking for a lot of different things. So is it a time for that, for the membership to say, hey, we want these different options, how do we get those? And the only way to do those is to raise rates.
Yeah, it's either, well, when you're saying raise rates to the members, right? Or, I mean, to Dennis's point, maybe it's a one-time, maybe it's a bonus for this year to get some people to work versus, having to increase the hourly rate, so that it carries over year. So maybe this is just a, special bonus for, to get some extra employees in there.
Yeah, and there could be an opportunity for, some of the stimulus release money that came to the township to maybe look at those options for that as a one-time thing. So yeah, for sure.
I mean, Monica, like the cleaning part of it, that's done by the employees, right? So if there was a way to get, maybe to James's point, if there's money to be used on a cleaning crew, like how much does that give opportunity to, for the other part where maybe the guards are being trained or they just need a rest, if they don't have to focus on something else, does that help potentially reduce the time the pool has to be closed or shift the time? Just trying to, again, talk about different solutions that might help.
We have a maintenance staff that does the cleaning. The guards just assist the maintenance staff during the cleaning hour, but they're also getting training during that time. And to be honest, we're a 12-week operation. So by the time we train and bring on more lifeguards, it's gonna be almost the end of summer. I mean, this is something we've been struggling, we've been struggling to pull on lifeguards. One thing that we are going to try to do this year is we onboarded a really great certified, qualified lifeguard trainer, and she's running all of the training throughout the year. And I'm hoping that we can bring her in sometime mid-season and run a lifeguard training to the community, open to the community and the staff. Anybody who is old enough at that time to take the training can get the training. That's something that I'm trying to plan into the schedule. The only problem is our schedule is so busy that it's going to be hard to, it's gonna be hard to fit it in. So we're just gonna have to figure out how to fit it into the schedule.
All right, good conversation around the pool. Anything else before Monica moves on to their second?
I'll make one complaint. I'll make one complaint about the pool, which is I made this complaint 2 years ago or last year. I absolutely hate that we have a construction road sign out on Edgewood Field advertising on that construction sign about lifeguard positions and whatever else it's advertising. We have no light ordinances for all the stores in our township, and it just looks tacky. So I'm just gonna say that as somebody who lives around the corner from there and has to drive by that thing every day, I think it looks so terrible that we use a construction sign to try to advertise like our different things. So. We can move on.
That wasn't a pool comment, but we'll let you.
Well, it's
insert it
pool.
there
I
anyway.
mean, it's for the pool.
What's that?
It's all pool. It's all pool advertisements.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
it's
for
not.
maintenance staff.
It's guys that want to cut the grass.
Yeah, I need maintenance staff too. People don't want to work.
I saw a lifeguard one.
No, I don't think so. It's like maintenance staff for public works and parks and recreation.
Oh, park and okay, I saw park and recreation on there. Yeah. I
Yeah,
hate it.
that's for me.
Yeah, I still hate it.
That's okay.
I'm gonna use this forum to say that.
I appreciate your feedback, Mike, but I really hope it brings me in some staff.
I could appreciate that.
She might just move it closer to your house.
That's fine. That won't work either. I'll unplug it. I'm just kidding. I won't unplug it. You can't do that.
Take all the light bulbs out of it, Mike.
I won't do that either.
All right, Monica.
I will use 2 minutes to complain about it here, and that is it.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate your feedback.
You're welcome.
So the next thing on the list is a 5K anyway that we're going to do at Makefield Park this summer. And we're going to use it to raise money to complete some of the projects on the accessibility program that we created earlier in the year. So here's the logo, not pulling it out, but 5K anyway. It is going to be accessible to all. It's going to be 4 loops in Makefield Park. We'll do registration. Any proceeds will go to completing the plan, any projects on the plan. So based on the priority. If anybody has any questions about that, I'd be glad to talk about it.
I think it's a great program,
Thank you.
great event.
So I hope to have you all there. One thing is we will need about 23 volunteers to help with the course. So if anybody on the board or anybody else in the community would like to volunteer, I know the Disability Advisory Board is also reaching out to see if we can find some volunteers. So we look forward to any volunteers that might help out with the day, either giving out water, fruit, veggies, all that stuff. And we are looking for sponsors for the event. So if anybody knows of any sponsorship opportunities, please send them to us and we'd be glad to set them up with, appropriate signage or the different opportunities that we have.
So will the whole complex be closed that day? Or like during this time? Like, is there no soccer and stuff that time?
Well, it's the middle of summer on a Sunday. So really nothing's going on.
Starts at what, 8 a.m. and then probably be done by noon anyway, right?
Yeah.
And that's I wasn't complaining. I was more just curious, like logistically, how that worked.
Yeah, there's nothing really going on a Sunday in the summer at Makefield Park.
Mike, I'm just thinking maybe we advertise this thing on that sign right on it.
You should.
I think so. I think that, Monica, you can make that happen.
Time that the non-residents play soccer?
What?
Is that the time that the non-residents use the field?
Oh, boy.
Are there any like vendors or anything at the end, like to raise, additional money?
We could probably use a volunteer or maybe a board member to help with that. But that's a good idea. Maybe just to do additional fundraising. I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, any way to raise any extra money, to start tackling some of those projects, a lot of those projects are a little ticky-tack projects just that we don't have planned. So if we can tackle any of them, I think.
Monica, wouldn't it be easiest just to like contact some of those food trucks and just have them pay you something?
Yeah, like the water race guy could pay to be there, and
just make some,
What about the lady
have
that
something
just-
available.
The lady that just did the food truck event, like, can she just contact several food truck vendors to,
To pay.
come back?
Yeah, I mean, we could ask that. We could just definitely try.
So that they, at least
Rather
if
than
they
getting
finish
someone
at
to run
12, they're not running off and leaving, you can at least keep them in, in the complex and maybe spend some more money, right?
Like hanging out for the day.
Yeah.
All colorful.
like, I went to a run, not like I run, trust me, I didn't run, but I attended a run where they had at the end, there was like a balloon artist and, like stuff to just kind of make it a little more fun for the kids and raise a little additional money.
That's a great idea. I like it. So we can look into that. And we're starting to get our vendors for community day too. So maybe we could just say, hey, you can, you can add on. So I mean, I think that'd be a great idea. We probably want someone who serves breakfast.
Yeah.
Some coffee, some breakfast, some
Water.
right. And we're looking to get donations, hopefully from some of the grocery stores for bananas and things at the end of the race. So there'll be medals and t-shirts and, under 5-year-olds, everyone get the medal, kind of thing. So I think it'll be a really fun event. I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of people have been asking for races and runs. So I think this is a fun start to that. So, and so that we have that too. We're also looking to potentially do one at the golf course, a 10K in the fall. So we'll see how this one goes. We're going to one at a time. And we have the 9/11 run on the 12th of September, and then possibly that 10K at the golf course. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, help us get the word out. We'll start promoting that shortly. We just kind of pulled it all together finally in the last week. So just wanted to share that with you.
Did you say 10K at the golf course?
Yeah. I've been talking to the golf course about putting together a 10K there as a partnership.
When would you do that? And how that sounds dangerous.
Well, I don't think it'd be when people are golfing. We're trying to work it into the fall, like early morning. I don't know. I'm talking to them about it.
People go from sun up to sundown. I don't know if there's, honestly, I do not think there's time to do that safely.
I do know that they do it at a couple of their other courses just fine, but I will make sure that I don't have enough kinks worked out on that one, Dennis, to really go over.
I would
Maybe
just
it'll be a nighttime. Maybe it'll be a nighttime 10K and they'll just have some floodlights around so there won't be any golf balls coming at you. That one sounds really dangerous to me.
Just to the next thing, the food truck event this weekend was almost too popular. It was very, very, very crowded. The temperature, along with the food trucks, and we had cars backed onto Woodside Road, so we probably have to revisit that, how we would arrange the food trucks and the vendors when we do that again. But really a lot of good feedback about that. The only negative feedback I had was that took a little while to get in if you're coming in the afternoon, but people were very happy. Super excited to be at a live event. 15 food trucks, there are 40 vendors, activities, all different things. And it seemed for the most part, I don't know if any of you made it out, but it was very successful, good event. So happy with that. Potential running them again in the future, but I just think we need to reconsider how we're laying things out so we have more space for people to park.
I didn't get there, but it sounded like fun.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. I wasn't there all day. I came for setup and because we had a number of things. Goat yoga started also on Saturday or Sunday that weekend. We had the pool running at 90 degrees. It was kind of a crazy park and rec weekend. So, which is a good thing. We're coming back. So that's that. We're starting to do look for sponsorship and all the activities for Community Day. We locked in fireworks. We reserved Pennsbury Fields. We are planning the concerts right now for Community Day. We're looking into just kind of pulling things together. Looking for activities that aren't necessarily bounce housey, but could be more open. So if anybody knows anybody who would like to be a vendor, be involved, volunteer, any of those things, or sponsor, we're looking for those people. So please send them our way.
What's the date again, Mom?
August 28th. This is the second year we had arranged to do it a week earlier. So since we didn't do it last year, this year will be August 28th. As far as the Memorial Park project was approved by the Board of Supervisors, we will be getting the 4 pickleball courts and the 3 tennis courts and a little bit of path and a little bit of parking lot out at the Memorial Park East Side. Very excited to move forward with that. The community center doors were also approved, so we're getting started on that project. Summer camp is starting on the 23rd. We're full for what we have as far as capacity this year. We do have some waiting lists and we're working through those right now. The seniors, we've been meeting with the seniors on a regular. They want to come back all at once in September right now. That was the latest I heard. I'm waiting for kind of a final answer on that. So they're looking to come back. We're starting to bring some programming in to the community center little by little. And so we're moving along with opening the facilities up. And then all the township facilities will open on June 15th. And we are asking that all people wear a mask in the township facilities. And our staff will be wearing masks in the township facilities too. So that's all I have as far as my list of things. If anybody has any park and rec or any questions at all, I'd be glad to answer them.
You skipped over senior games. I'm not sure if that was or not.
Senior games are going on right now. Tomorrow I'm helping out at the disc golf at Tamanin Park. I'm very excited to see the seniors operating. Last year we had to cancel the event. Very excited. It's going on. A lot of our seniors are participating. So let's cheer for the seniors. And, we're moving along. We got a very big registration this year, actually almost too big. So just wanted to mention that was going on too.
I'm signed up.
Are you?
Unfortunately, yes, I am signed up as a senior. Boy, it's because it's like 45 and up.
What do you sign up for?
Pickleball? What do you think?
Yeah.
I smell a ringer.
They do it by age group, Mr. McCartney, so you can get in there.
It better not be 45 and up because I'm not ready to be that close to be a senior myself.
Doug, don't make me sign up and come out.
Okay, so that's all I have. Thank you for bringing that up, Doug. When do you play?
When do I play? It's not. When do I play? August. June, what month are we in? June 19th, Saturday morning, June 19th, up in Doylestown, Camp Curiosity.
Very good. So we'll cheer on Doug.
There we go.
Doug. All right. Well, that's all I have, Doug.
Great. Anybody else have anything for the group or Monica or James? All right. If not, then anybody want to make a motion to? What's that, Michael? You got something?
Yeah. Is there a July meeting?
No.
I know there.
So why don't we talk about that, Monica? I think what we had decided was that Monica needs a little bit more time to put the road tour together. So July would be normally is when we would do it, but we are looking to do it in August. So what I would ask, if you could send to myself and Monica your dates that you're around in August, maybe just dates you're not going to be around. Like if you have a vacation plan or there's specific days of the week, we typically do it on a weekday. We meet usually around 6 o'clock. And we tour for those that have not been on that before. So if you can just send myself and Monica any days you're not going to be in Lower Makefield or have a conflict, from 6 o'clock on, then we can try to identify the common date when we can get not just the members of the Park and Rec team, but we also have to work back with the Board of Supervisors and find out their availability. So
Doug, wouldn't it be easier if I maybe come up with a list of dates that are available based on committee schedule? And then if you can I could do a poll, like a doodle poll or something that, you can all.
yeah, whatever works. I mean, if there's dates, obviously, because the Board of Supervisors have committee meetings already planned, and we have to work around that. I'm sure there's committees like every day of, but hopefully we can get a majority of the folks then to fit into one of those. I just don't, let them, if at the same time, if we want to just include any other conflicts.
Okay, sounds good. I can do that.
Yeah, so just let us know what dates you have that would work, and we can see if we can get a consensus for August. So Michael, no meeting in July, road tour in August, and then we would back on our regular cadence in September.
Sounds good. Would that be back in the township building?
I don't know, Monica, does that mean the township building's open in June? Does that mean meetings will start taking place in the township building again?
I think we're still working through that
Okay.
as far as technology goes and making things work properly for maybe potential hybrid. James might be able to tell us better on that one.
Yeah, I think Doug, the plan is to do a hybrid type system for all the committees. So that means you can have some members there, some members at home, some members, wherever they want to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
We paid for the service through I think 2021. So might as well use it.
All right, very good.
Motion to adjourn?
All right, anything else? Michael wants to make the motion to adjourn. Anybody second?
A second.
Michael, the other Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, adjourn, everybody. We will see you in August.
August. Yeah.
Night, y'all.
July and the rest of June. Thank you.